Good morning, good afternoon, good evening sa lahat na nanonood ng aking vlog. So kanina nag-post ako ng video na ang title ay Facebook down. So bakit ba nagkaroon ng Facebook server issue? Simula kagabi mga 11 o'clock tapos hanggang ngayon. Habang binabasa ko yung mga comments, isa sa mga nakita ko doon ay etong si whistleblower na si Francis Haugen. Sabi dito sa cbsnews.com, whistleblower Facebook is misleading the public on progress against hate speech, violence, and misinformation. So tiningnan ko yung mga iba pang mga post tungkol sa kanya. Okay, so nag-search ako kanina, Francis Haugen whistleblower. So marami ako nakuhang information. Then dito rin sa CNN.com, siya din ang nasa news dito. Okay? At kahit sa NewYorkPost.com, si Francis din ang topic nila. So bakit nga ba nagkaroon ng issue ang Facebook? Bakit daw ng Facebook? So kung makikita niyo dito sa downdetector.com, simula siya ng 11 PM at hanggang ngayon ay tuloy-tuloy pa rin na down ang issue ng Facebook, including Messenger at WhatsApp and Instagram. So sabi naman ng Facebook, kung makikita niyo dito sa screen ko ngayon, we're aware that some people are having trouble accessing our apps and products. We're working to get things back to normal as quickly as possible and we apologize for any inconvenience. Okay, pero habang pinag-uusapan natin to si Francis, okay, sino ba siya at bakit siya nagreklamo sa Facebook? Okay, dito sa nabasa ko, si Francis ay dating employee ng Facebook. Okay, sabi niya dito, in her time with Facebook, she saw conflicts of interest between and what was good for the public and what was good for the Facebook. Ito ang report ni Scott Pini. Okay, her name is Frances Haugen, and that is a fact that Facebook has been anxious to know since last month when an anonymous former employee filed complaints with federal law enforcement. The complaints say Facebook's own research shows that it amplifies hate, misinformation, and political unrest, but the company hides what it knows. Okay, one of the complaints alleges that Facebook's Instagram harms teenage girls. What makes Haugen's complaints unprecedented is the trove of private Facebook research she took when she quit in May. The documents appeared first last month, so last month is September, in the Wall Street Journal, but tonight Frances Haugen is revealing her identity. So kung makita niyo dito sa screen ngayon, yan ang picture ni Frances Haugen. Kasi nababasa ko dito sa nung nag-post ako nitong Facebook down, maraming mga nagko-comment siya na dahil nga daw yun kay Frances Haugen. Kaya may mga nagsabi din, kung makita nyo dito, sinasabi niya, it's because of the Facebook whistleblower. Tapos tingnan natin ang mga comments niya. Nilagay niya yung pangalan na Frances Haugen. Okay, and marami pa. Tapos mga nagko-comment din dito na sa Germany, Lebanon, lahat nagsasabi na down ang Facebook kahit nandun sa kanila. Okay, so sino ba si Frances Haugen? So na-mention dito na si Frances Haugen is a 37-year-old data scientist from Iowa with a degree in computer engineering and a Harvard's master degree in business. For 15 years, she's worked for companies including Google and Pinterest. So medyo matagal-tagal na siyang related sa mga social media companies. So sabi nung interviewer, sabi ni Scott, someone else might have just quit and moved on, and I wonder why you take a stand. Ang sabi ni dito ni Francis, imagine you know what's going on inside of Facebook and you know no one on the outside knows. I knew what my future looked like if I continued to stay inside of Facebook, which is person after person after person has tackled this inside of Facebook and ground themselves to the ground. Okay, then in-explain niya dito kung kailan niya nakuha yung mga documents, and I'm gonna have to do this, sabi ni Francis, in a systematic way, and I have to get out enough that no one can question that this is real. Okay, so she secretly copied tens of thousands of pages of Facebook internal research. She says evidence shows that the company is lying to the public about making significant progress against hate, violence, and misinformation. So ito yung isa sa mga study na sinasabi niya. We estimate that we may action as little as 3 to 5% of hate and about 6/10 or 1% of VNI. VNI refers to violence and incitement on Facebook despite being the best in the world at it. Okay, so na-recruit siya sa Facebook noong 2019, and ang agreement daw niya kung bakit niya kinuha yung job is she wants to work against misinformation because she had lost a friend to online conspiracy theories. Okay, yun ang purpose niya kung bakit siya sumali sa Facebook. Dati daw, na-assign siya sa Facebook sa civic integrity. Okay, ano ang civic integrity? Nag-work daw ang civic integrity on risks to election including misinformation. Pero ang nangyari, but after election, there was a turning point. They told us we're dissolving the civic integrity. So, yung civic integrity na yon ay nandun lang siya sa before election. After election, tinanggal na yung team na yon or yung group na yon. Like they basically said, oh good, we made it through the election. There wasn't riots. We can get rid of civic integrity now, and fast forward couple of months, we got the insurrection. Okay, so ang sinasabi pa dito ni Francis, Facebook says the work of civic integrity was distributed to other units. Haugen told us that the root of Facebook's problem is in a change that it made in 2018 to its algorithms, the programming that decides what you see on your Facebook news feeds. So kung mapapansin nyo, kahit meron kayong 5,000 friends sa Facebook, hindi mo makita lahat ng updates niyan. Konti lang makikita mo, at yun ay dahil sa algorithm na pinipili ni Facebook na ipakita sa iyo. So the algorithm picks from those options based on kind of content you've engaged with the most in the past. Okay, so ibig sabihin, pag lagi kang nanonood tungkol sa, let's say, nag-review sa Facebook, nag-engage, pwede kang nagda-like, nagko-comment tungkol sa politics, ang mga lalabas din sa news feeds mo ay tungkol sa politics. Kung puro ka sa, halimbawa, sa mga animals, so mga animals din ang makikita mo dyan sa Facebook news feeds mo. So sabi ni Francis, and one of the consequences of how Facebook is picking out the content today is optimizing for content that gets engagement or reaction. But its own research is showing that the content is hateful, that is divisive, that is polarizing, and easier to inspire people to anger than it is to other emotions. Kasi kung mapapansin nyo, di ba marami nag-viral yung mga may mga according to Francis is merong mga hateful contents, which is sana hindi daw ganon. Kasi ang ginagawa din ng Facebook, kung ano nga yung ini-engagean mong mga post, yun ang makita mo sa feed. Okay, so parang paano ba ang gagawin nito? Paano ba ibabalanse kung ano yung dapat na makita, yung mga inspiring, or yung kung ano yung engaging? Kasi kung engaging, minsan engaging na hateful, may engaging na polarizing, na divisive. So ganun ang pino-point out dito ni Francis. Tapos tinanong siya ni Scott, is misinformation or angry content enticing to people? Sabi ni Francis, very enticing. So that keeps them on the platform. So pag nakikita kang tuloy-tuloy ka nakita ng mga ganong topic at nag-engage ka, so mas lalo ka magstay sa Facebook. So ibig sabihin nun, mas maraming chances na tumagal kang sa Facebook at in return, siguro magkakaroon ng mga ads, mga kung ano pa man na somehow kikita ang Facebook doon. So, paano nga ba natin ibabalanse ang ganito? So, ang sabi dito ni Francis, one of the Facebook internal studies that you found talks about how Instagram harms teenage girls. One of the studies says 13.5% of teenage girls say Instagram makes thoughts of suicide worse. 17% of teen girls say Instagram makes eating disorders worse. And siguro it's a good thing din kasi last week daw, Facebook has postponed its plan to create an Instagram for younger children. And finally, sabi dito ni Francis, Facebook is a $1 trillion company, just 17 years old, and it has 2.8 billion users, which is 60% of all internet connected people on Earth. So Francis plans to testify before Congress this week and believes the federal government should impose regulations. Facebook has demonstrated they cannot act independently. Over and over again, has shown it chooses profit over safety. It is subsidizing, it is paying for its profits with our safety. I'm hoping that this will have a big enough impact on the world that they get the fortitude and the motivation to actually go put those regulations in place. So, to cut it short, ang ibig niya sabihin, Facebook should have regulations and not act independently. So, abangan natin sa mga susunod na linggo kasi magkakaroon daw siya ng testimony sa US Congress next week. So, tingnan natin kung ano maging update. Pero kung ako tatanungin nyo, ito ba ang reason kung bakit Facebook down? Sa tingin ko, hindi naman. Kasi iba naman tong case na to at iba naman yung server issue na pinopost. Kung titingnan ko uli yung Twitter ng Facebook, it also still shows na Facebook is aware of the issue and tingnan natin kung may bago. Okay, something went wrong din sa pero dito sa sa Twitter, pero dito sa downdetector.com. Okay, kung makikita nyo, ganun pa rin. At may issue pa din ng Facebook a few seconds ago. Okay, so hindi pa rin daw gumagana ang Facebook. Facebook is still down. Not me at work actually working. And titingnan ko rin ang aking Facebook kung gumagana na ba. Okay, so it still shows the site can't be reached. Pero sa tingin ko naman hindi to related doon sa kaso ni Francis Haugen sa Facebook. So maraming salamat sa panonood. Sana patuloy kayong mag-antabay sa mga updates regarding dito at sana ma-resolve din kagad ng Facebook maya-maya or mamayang umaga pagkagising. Okay, maraming salamat. Bye everyone. Have a nice day.